The biggest mistake guys make when trying to win over a woman? Ignoring the obvious signs. Have you ever wondered if she really likes you, or if she's just stringing you along? The answer lies in the way she acts, and often what she doesn't do says way more than what she actually says. If she does this, forget it. She's not interested, and insisting will only put you in an even worse position. But relax, because today I'm going to teach you how to spot these signs and, more importantly, how to react the right way so you never waste your time again. She takes forever or doesn't even reply to your messages. It's obvious, bro. You send her a message and she disappears for hours or doesn't even respond. And when she does, it's just a dry, lifeless okay with zero effort. You know what that means. She doesn't care. A woman who's interested makes an effort. Could she be busy? Sure, but no one is busy 24/7 forever. If this keeps happening, it means her excitement about you is close to zero. And you're not here to beg for attention, are you? Now, think about the opposite. Have you ever seen how a woman acts when she really likes a guy? She texts him first, uses emojis, laughs, asks questions, and shows real interest. If talking to her feels like dealing with customer service, no emotion, no enthusiasm, it's over. Interest has to be mutual. If she's not investing, why the hell should you? You're not just some needy guy. You're a man with options. Right. A classic mistake. Trying to convince a woman to like you with long texts, persistence, and the patience of a monk. That only puts you in the annoying and desperate category. The game changes when you start valuing yourself and stop giving attention to those who don't deserve it. Genuine interest happens naturally, not through pressure. And if you accept breadcrumbs, that's all you'll get, if you even get that. She never takes initiative, and you still think you have a chance? Relationships are a two-way street. If you're the only one starting conversations, making plans, and showing interest, something's off. A woman who's into you doesn't wait for a formal invitation to act. She texts out of nowhere, asks about your life, or finds an excuse to see you. If that never happens, you already know the answer. She doesn't see you as a priority. Now, ask yourself, has she ever texted you first, suggested something, shown that she actually wants to see you? If the answer is no, there's no mystery here. It's just disinterest. Being a nice guy won't help if she doesn't feel like reaching out to you. And forcing things will only make you look desperate. Do you want to be the prize or just a backup plan? A lot of guys fool themselves. Oh, but maybe she's shy or she doesn't want to seem too easy. Dude, forget it. A woman who's interested finds a way, even if it's subtle. She likes your posts, comments on your jokes, accidentally shows up where you are. If none of that is happening, don't kid yourself. She's not playing hard to get. She's just not playing with you. Now, tell me, have you ever been through this? Have you ever been in that situation where you were the only one making an effort and got nothing but radio silence? Drop a comment below. And if this is your reality right now, maybe it's time to change your strategy. Valuing yourself is always the best move. She always has an excuse, and you still believe it? Every time you ask her out, a last-minute commitment pops up. She's super busy, tired, or handling some things. At first, you buy the excuse. But after a few failed attempts, it clicks. This isn't bad luck, it's a pattern. And you know what that pattern means? She's just not interested. A woman who truly wants to see a guy makes it happen, even if it's just for a quick coffee break at work. Now look around. Have you ever seen a friend start dating someone new? Suddenly, she fits him into her schedule effortlessly. Why? Because she's interested. Sure, things come up. But if every single one of your attempts turns into maybe someday, the hidden message is clear. You're not a priority. And if she doesn't prioritize you, why waste your time trying to prove you're worth it? The fatal mistake here is insisting. The more you try to convince her to give you attention, the more she sees you as a guy with no other options. and the less attractive you become. The secret to winning this game is simple. Recognize the pattern early and walk away before you become just a background character in her life. If after a few tries, she never makes it easy to meet up, the best thing you can do is stop, disappear, and see if she even notices you're gone. Spoiler, she probably won't. Listen up. A high-value man doesn't beg. He extends an invitation, gives an opportunity. If she's interested, great. If not, next. The world is full of women who will want to go out with you, without you needing to send a novel-length text or chase them down. The question is, will you keep chasing after someone who barely replies to you, or will you invest in someone who actually shows interest? She always treats you like a friend. The way a woman interacts with you says everything. If your conversations are always about random topics with no flirting, no tension, no subtle games, congratulations, you've officially been placed in the friend zone. And if she starts telling you about other guys, asking for dating advice, or venting about her crush, dude, it's over. In her mind, the idea of something romantic with you doesn't even exist. And here's the worst part. So many guys think they can change this over time. They stick around, always available, listening to her problems, giving support, hoping that one day she'll realize what an amazing guy he is. But what actually happens, she falls for someone else and thanks you with a classic. You're such a great friend. Seen this movie before? Yeah, it always ends the same way. If a woman sees you as a friend, pushing won't change a thing. What changes the game is switching up the dynamic. Stop being the shoulder to cry on. Stop being the guy who's always available. Start positioning yourself as a man with boundaries who knows what he wants. If she still treats you like a big brother, accept reality and move on. This isn't rejection, it's liberation. A man who values himself doesn't settle for being the best friend of an unattainable crush. He understands that attraction requires reciprocity. If she doesn't see you as anything more than a confidant, then you have no reason to invest in her. So here's the real question. Is it worth spending your time and energy on someone who will never see you as a desirable man? Or is it time to stop playing a supporting role and finally become the main character in your own story? She talks about other guys to you. If a woman constantly brings up other men in front of you, whether it's an ex, a coworker, or some random crush, it's not by accident. The subliminal message is simple. You're not on her list of options. A woman who's interested doesn't waste time hyping up another guy to someone she wants to impress. If she does this, it's because she sees you as a neutral listener, a friend, a spectator, and not as a guy who makes her heart race. The problem? A lot of guys ignore this sign and keep investing. They think, if I'm patient and understanding, one day she'll realize I'm the best choice. But in reality, the more you accept this role as her free therapist, the more it solidifies. You become the nice guy who listens, gives advice, and stays alone. And you know who ends up with her? The guy who doesn't even pay attention to these conversations and acts like he has better options. Of course, a woman might mention someone every now and then, and it might not mean anything. But if it becomes a habit, especially when you two are alone, it's because, subconsciously, she wants to reinforce that you're not a romantic option. At this point, insisting is just a waste of time. You're not here to be the audience to her love story with someone else, are you? So, what's the best move? Simple. Stop caring. If you notice the conversation always revolves around other men, shift your focus to women who actually see you as a real possibility. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will. And now I ask you, how much longer will you accept being a spectator in her story instead of being the main character in your own life? She disappears and comes back when she wants, and you're still available? A woman who's truly interested doesn't vanish for days, weeks, or months and then reappear like nothing happened. If she does this, it's because you're just a convenient option. Maybe she only reaches out when she's bored, out of alternatives, or needs an ego boost. That's not genuine interest. It's pure convenience, and you're falling for it. The worst part, a lot of guys get stuck in this toxic cycle. When she disappears, they get anxious, constantly checking their phone, waiting for a sign of life. And when she finally comes back, they completely ignore her previous indifference and reply as if nothing ever happened. But guess what? This pattern will keep repeating. Why? Because she knows she can put you on hold, and when she needs attention, you'll still be there waiting. A woman who sees you as a priority keeps a consistent connection. Even if she's busy, she'll find a way to reach out, send a quick hey, or ask about your day. Now, if she only shows up when it's convenient for her, then, my friend, you're not a priority. You're a backup plan. And continuing to accept this role only weakens your position. The only way out? Set boundaries. If she disappeared without explanation and then suddenly came back, treat it with indifference. Or better yet, don't treat it at all. Don't chase. Don't reply immediately. High-value men don't wait in line for anyone. And the real question you need to ask yourself is simple. Do you want to be her convenient option, or do you want someone who genuinely wants to be with you? She makes no effort to truly get to know you. When a woman genuinely likes a guy, she wants to know more about him. She asks questions, remembers details, and takes an interest in his life. If your conversations feel like a job interview, with short answers, no curiosity, and no real engagement, that means she doesn't see any reason to invest time in getting to know you. Real interest translates into effort, and if that effort isn't there, the reason is simple. She's just not that into you. Now, think about relationships that actually work. There's mutual exchange, involvement, and a natural desire to deepen the connection. But if, instead of that, she never asks about you, doesn't care about your job, hobbies, or personal life, the truth is crystal clear. You're not on her mind the way you wish you were. And if every conversation revolves around her while you're just the listener, congratulations. You're only there to feed her ego. A classic mistake guys make in this situation, trying to compensate. They talk more, try to entertain, keep the conversation going nonstop, and share stories, hoping that at some point, she'll show interest back. But guess what? If she's never reciprocating, insisting only puts you in the role of a background character. Real connection requires reciprocity. If she doesn't care to know who you are beyond the basics, it's because she doesn't see you as someone she wants anything serious with. So what's the right move? Simple. Pay attention to the energy she's bringing to the interaction. If you realize you're the only one carrying the conversation, shift your focus. The time you're wasting trying to be noticed by someone who doesn't care could be spent building something real with someone who actually values your presence. And now I ask you, will you keep chasing after someone who ignores you? Or will you give a chance to someone who genuinely wants to get to know you? There's a method that's being called foolproof by those who've tried it. It doesn't matter if you think you don't stand a chance or if you've tried everything before. This method was designed to work in any situation and for any man. It's simple, direct, and incredibly effective for attracting the woman you want. Want to learn how it works? Trust me, this is the solution you've been waiting for. No more relying on luck or generic advice that never actually helps. The path to transforming your love life is closer than you think. Just check out the pinned comment and see how this method can work for you. If you want more tips like this to stop wasting time with people who don't value you and learn how to position yourself as a high-value man, subscribe to the channel right now. Here, I'll show you how to stop being a spectator and start taking control of the game.